Alright, it's Theamine week, which means it's a good time for creators to talk about their roster. And especially since I don't stream, you guys don't really see what's going on with my roster. I have made some changes to my roster, and honestly there might even be more. So let's start off with talking about the ones that are still here. Starting off with my artist, I am doing my part. I am making one support for my static, and if I'm being honest, ever since I made the support video and also my last roster review, I've actually started to enjoy artist more because I've been trying a little bit more. Part of that is also thanks to the buffs that it had, like increasing the size of your buff on the floor, and also reducing the recovery frames on Hopper was a great thing too, because it was really annoying popping that and then knowing that you won't be able to counter for a long time after that. I rebuilt this character, pretty good quality, 4+3+2+2, and I'm gonna be honest, I keep on forgetting about upgrading this character's gems. This is my worst set of gems on a roster character to exist. I am in the process of putting my entire roster to level 9 gems, but yeah, I'm poor, I'm broke, and it's taking time. I am currently trying to get 40 set on it. I did just of this week actually get it to 1620. Now the downside is that I keep on rolling Faith Island, and I got a 5-5 and a 4-2 with it, so it's really gonna be hard to ditch this. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm just gonna take points and just run Faith for a while. And I'll switch to Luminary or Events whenever we get the Elixir nerf, and hopefully that increases the rates of getting things so I can actually get one of the other ones better. Since this is an alt that I'm just going to keep parked here at 1620, I'm just going to take the hit and just run Faith for a while. Faith is just overall annoying because it's just like Dominion set, which, as you know, there's a lot of mechanics in this game where you want to hold your alt, which you really can't do if you're running Faith. So that's kind of what makes it a step worse than Luminary Advance. And since max HP does affect shieldings, I am trying to target getting that as well. Now Soul Eater, this is kind of a big one for me. And this is because I think I've main swapped to it. I decided to do my Theamine prog on it. And all this time doing it, progging on a Soul Eater has been actually really fun, really enjoyable. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is my main now. This character rolled 2 really good 5-5 elixirs. 2 that even when I do try to min-max down the line with the elixir nerf, I won't be trying to get better than these, just because I don't need to. Now my Soul Eater is a little bit different than your average Night Edge, because if you look down there, that's not full crit. This allows me to run Hallucination, so I don't really have to worry about Boundless State. My engravings also aren't really the meta either, as I do run ADR 3 Ether Predator 1. So this puts me at 69% crit rate without ADR 3, so I get to sit at about 85% with ADR stacks. So without a crit send and having such a high crit rate, I actually went critical instead of master as well. Gem wise, you can see this character is doing pretty good, mostly level 9s and then some event gem fillers, but yeah, I really enjoy Soul Eater. Now the Scouter, I actually did plan to run Theamine and prog with until like 2 days before prog, where I rolled the second 5-5 on my Soul Eater and I said screw it, I'm just gonna play that. I still really enjoy this class, but there's still some things that I don't like about it, like for the fact that your best skill is your counter skill, but overall it's a very chill and relaxed class. Being able to shield yourself takes away a lot of worry and concern, and I do really enjoy comboing your skills when you transform. This character does have a 9-7 stone, which I think is part of the reason why I've been so stubborn to not try to main anything else. But also, let's be honest, a 9-7 isn't saving a Scouter's damage. That being said, my spec is a little bit lower than I would like it to be. I do want to raise that, but it is going to be an expensive endeavor because it is all 3-6 accessories. But it is on my to-do list because I don't plan on dropping this character, and I do want to try to min-max as much as I can out of it. He does have his 40 set elixir, but with a lot of trash garbage filler, which again, I think I'm just gonna wait until the elixir nerf, whenever that comes, to actually get good elixirs now that this is a alt character for me. And then the standard 5-3+2, and I actually did go level 10 gems on this character. Since he is a 2 gem Andy and I thought I was gonna prog on it, I thought it was a pretty good investment to roll him. Unfortunately, I rolled cooldown for the first one and I wasn't willing to take that gamble on the second one, so I did end up selling gems and then buying the level 10 damage. So since this character is progressed to this point, it's made it really hard for me to ever consider swapping to AT. If I come across a couple Esther Stones and I can afford to just get gems in a new build, I'll think about it. And here's the last one that I'm certain is staying in my roster, which is my Windfury Aeromancer. I mostly play a full Swift Halu. There are times when I play a Dominion just because I feel like it. This is a 5-3-1 build, EP1. As you can see, all her gems are either 9s or 8s. She is 1616 and I'm only honing off bound materials, so it's kind of just a slow crawl to 1620, but I will get her there and park her there and also suffer trying to get her a 40 set on that too. There's not too much to say about this character. It's a really fun class to me, and it's a really good character to just bring and enjoy the raid with. It also just brings a lot of good utility to the party as well. I am trying to roll a better bracelet for her, but it's been kind of rough. Bracelets are kind of one of my roster weak points, where I keep on ending up with low stat bracelets with circulate, which makes it hard for me to switch off of it. Now onto my Wardancer, which I have locked into being a roster character. Initially, this character was going to go FI and replace my Aeromancer, because I thought FI was just a better Wind Fury overall. I made the build and everything, and I just didn't click with FI. With the Dominion build, it was really annoying having Judgment on your counter, which is a 2-hit skill. So if that doesn't proc, that's kind of just a pretty big kick to the nuts. I was full Swift, so I didn't really have the stat spread to go Nightmare, but in my defense, I don't really like Nightmare builds. And Halu just kind of felt subpar. But before I made that FI build and before the changes, I was playing it as a 4x3 plus 2 ESO. And I'm not gonna lie, hitting that Azure Dragon in even just Chaos Dungeon, it felt pretty good. So I bit the bullet and went back to ESO, and I made a build for that. The only regret I have is that I didn't do this earlier. ESO Wardancer is extremely fun. This is my second favorite character after Soul Eater. Qualities are alright. Weapon is 95, so that's good. The same bracelet curse where I have a low spec on it, but it has circulate. So she is just edging the spec requirement for this class. Very standard build for her, +1 class 1. I did go Massacrease over Curse Stall, and I don't regret it. Whisper Wind just makes it a non-issue. Mostly level 9 gems, some level 7 cooldowns on just a couple skills that don't really need it for the rotation to work. Super fun class, I'm enjoying it. It's been a nice change of pace to have something a little bit more bursty on my roster, which serves as a good segue to my final roster spot. Lately, I've wanted to diversify the playstyle of my roster. This slot used to be my Pistolier Deadeye, and while I do really enjoy that class, I have a lot of fun playing it. I have Wind Fury and Evo Scouter that kind of plays similar to it, as a super high uptime, consistent damage class. And also, I'm not gonna lie, it is tempting to play a more standard burst class where I don't have to worry about as many damage gems. So there are 3 candidates for roster 6. The first being that maybe the Deadeye doesn't switch. Maybe I just keep him there. I do really enjoy Pistolier, and I really also enjoy the fact that I can actually hold my counter with that class. That is huge. And if I really do want to diversify my playstyle with it, I could switch to Enhanced Weapon and see how I like that. The other 2 characters fighting for this slot is, the first one's going to be Breaker. No big surprise there. This class is really fun and it really pumps. But for me, when I'm playing both these builds, either one, Brawl King or Sura, neither one of these gave me the feel that I just had recently when I switched to ESO Wardancer. That feeling and knowing that this character is going to be on my roster. So as much as I am enjoying Breaker, I'm as on the fence on playing the class as a roster character as I am picking between the 2 builds. I do have an entire video dedicated to that if you want to listen about that. The pros and cons of leaving this as an alt is, the pro is it can just keep event gems on it and not have to worry about it. The con is also that it is an event character, so I'm not going to be making full uses of these boxes that I'm pretty sure do lead to free legendary elixirs, but at least these ones aren't time gated, so I can just use them whenever I do get it to 1620 if I just want to play it as an off roster character and slowly hone it. And then the last character fighting for this slot is going to be my Deathblade. This character has only been 1580 for about 2 weeks now. I've done 1 run as RE and 1 run as Surge. I'm going to be honest, I've enjoyed both of them. They both present a different type of difficulty to them, and so far I think they're actually both pretty fun. But I don't have a full level 3 set, I don't have a full con set, and it is still week 2, so I really can't say for sure where this character is going to go. But yeah, this character has a 5-3-1 build with an interchangeable earring that can make me switch between Surge and RE. Nothing too special about it because this is kind of a placeholder character that I haven't decided if I'm going to roster or not. And that's it. That's my roster 6. Now, the last character that got replaced was my Slayer. When it comes to high damage reclear content, I find myself enjoying the class less. And this is because how Predator works. On high damage groups, since you are often pushing phases quick, you might be put into situations where you're forced to de-transform with low stacks, which puts you in a pretty long cooldown before you can go back into your Predator form, or whatever they call it. And when you're in this kind of party comp, generally, if you do pop it when you're back off cooldown, chances are you're going into it right before another mechanic, and you're going to be going into this kind of loop and a bad cycle of spending the majority of the fight out of your form, and it just kind of feels bad and makes you just not enjoy it. With 2 out of 3 of your weekly raids being this type of content, I didn't feel like it was a good idea to keep this character on my roster if I wasn't enjoying it for 2 out of 3 raids I do every week. Unless people die and make the fights longer, which isn't good either. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really want to play Punisher either. I'd rather just play Breaker or Deathblade at that point. And then we have the rest. These are just characters that didn't make the cut for one reason or another. I've talked about these before in one of my other roster videos, so I'm not going to go into details on them. I only have really 2 notes on these characters. There are times where I wish I didn't drop Perfect Suppression because the non-position one does look fun. And the other one is that I really didn't give EO Soulfist a proper try, but at this point, I really can't afford another project character. So that character is kind of like a future what if scenario, a future side project like I'm doing with Deathblade right now. So some final notes as I close this up. I love action games like Devil May Cry, but I also really love fighting games. I really love versus games. I love crazy action games, like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Both are very high APM, always doing something kind of games. And that's why I like that kind of character in Lost Ark. And that's why I'm exploring other characters that kind of have that playstyle, but are a different type of character. Like Wardancer is very short cycle bursts, so you don't really have that much downtime. Surge Deathblade basically gets rid of all its downtime. And because I am enjoying these other playstyles, I want to diversify my roster a little bit more. So I really just want to say, don't be afraid to travel outside your comfort zone. And as you can see, I still do believe that you should change your character if you don't enjoy it. If you enjoy something else, it doesn't matter how far you progress. If you want to change your roster, then change it. It's going to be painful the later you change, yes, but I think it's worth it still. And then the last final note is, I'm pretty sure me and Dupla might be sharing like the same brain cell here. Without really talking to each other about it, we both started to roster Wardancer, and now he rostered his Deathblade. I'm considering doing it. And then when he just did his roster review video, I saw that his original character was a Shadowhunter with his name on it. Guess who has an original Shadowhunter with their name on it? Me. So yeah, we share on that one brain cell here. That'll be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.